Good morning and welcome to physics class. Now I am switching over to one more type of problem which is associated with the circular motion friction. Circular motion friction. See this problem, a car is moving in a circular slippery road at a constant speed of 10 meter per second. Slippery road, that means in rainy season exclusively there is possibility for skidding. That is why some care should be taken while taking curved road. If the coefficient of friction is 0.5 between the road and tires, what would be the minimum radius of this circular road so that the car does not skid? While taking, we should be careful, otherwise there is possibility for skidding. See, when the car is moving in circular path, what are the different forces acts on this car? That means the frictional forces will supply the necessary centripetal force in this case. Like this, see, this is mv square by r is the radius, and the frictional forces produce this force which are nothing but mu mg. So the minimum condition to have at least minimum radius, we have to equate these two. That means force due to friction is equal to centripetal force, since the car is describing circular path. This is the case. M gets cancelled. We need radius of this path. R is equal to v square by mu g. That's it. This. Now let's enter the data. What is the velocity with which it is rotating? That means 10 square by coefficient of friction is given as 0.5 and g value take it as 10, then it is nothing but 100 by 5, which in turn gives radius is equal to, since it is radius, we have to give the units of meter. What is the problem? When the car is in the circular path, the frictional force between the tires and the roads provides the necessary centripetal force. What is the frictional force? Mu mg. What is the centripetal force? mv square by r. So make them equal for balancing purpose, and from this I am deriving the value of r, where r is the radius of the path. This is nothing but v square by mu z. The speed, nothing but velocity, is given as 10 meter per second. So 100 by friction is 0.5 into 10 is the right answer. Okay. Let's take one more problem. It is between friction and circular motion. Mind the important concept between friction and rotatory motion, circular motion. Whenever a body is executing circular motion, it experiences centripetal force. That centripetal force, so called the necessary centripetal force, was supplied by the frictional force between the body and the rotating surface. In different cases, for example, an electron is revolving in circular orbit around the nucleus. Here the negatively charged electron and positively charged nucleus attract each other. This attractive force supplies the necessary centripetal force which rotates the electron in the circular path. In the same way, a planet is revolving Earth in circular path. In this case, the gravitational force of attraction between the two planets supplies the necessary centripetal force which keeps the planet revolving around the Earth. Like this, here I am taking very smallest case. Discuss a disc rotates at 60 revolution per minute. First learn the term. What do you mean by? A disc is rotating at a rate of, it completes 60 revolutions per minute. That means in 1 minute it is making 60 revolutions. Fine. About a vertical axis, that means this is the case. This is the disc. The vertical axis means this is the vertical axis. Fine. I think you can do it very simply. This is the axis of rotation. Around this axis of rotation, this disc is rotating. This is the condition. Fine. what is this? A coin is placed on the disc. Here the coin is placed. Coin. Imagine a 1 rupee coin is placed here. The disc is rotating. What should be the minimum value of coefficient of friction between the coin and the disc so that the coin will not slide off the disc? Means if this disc rotates, what happens? It has a tendency to fly off. Then which force keeps it without slide off? The frictional force between the rotating disc and the coin keeps it. Mr omega square is the force experienced outward, whereas the frictional force avoiding from skidding. For the balancing condition, I have to make them equal. That means frictional force is equal to mr omega square. This is the condition. This is the basic point. From this work we can substitute and what else is given. You know, frictional force F is equal to mu n, nothing but mu mg, where m is the mass of the coin. That means if you substitute all these things, mu mg is equal to mr omega square. Now our job is we have to calculate what will be the minimum coefficient of friction. That means we have to make this one subject, m and m strikes off, and the coefficient of friction mu is equal to r omega square by g. In my view, the problem ends here. The remaining is substitution and the calculation part, which you have to do yourself. But here one twist is there. Since it is first time, I will explain clearly. Here omega means what? Angular velocity. But angular velocity is not given directly. It is mentioned as 60 revolutions per minute. 60. So what is the formula for angular velocity? It is nothing but 2 pi n. If the terms is given in terms of rotations per minute, rotations per second. N means number of rotations per second. If you ignore this minute, so there is a possibility for misleading. Observe carefully. N means what? Number of rotations per second. Now let us go to the problem. Here how many rotations is making? 60 revolutions in 1 minute. Then what is meant by n? N is nothing but number of revolutions per second. Nothing but it is making 60 in 1 minute. 1 minute is nothing but 60 seconds. So simply speaking, it is doing 1 revolution per second. N value is this one. Substitute in this value. Then coefficient of friction mu is equal to r. R means at what distance it is placed from the axis of rotation? It is placed at a distance of 20 centimeter. So r is nothing but 0.2 meter. Simply see, I am substituting its value. R means 0.2 into omega means what? 2 pi n whole square divided by, what is the value of g? Simply it is nothing but 10. So in D10, 0.2 into C, 2 pi into what is the value of n? 1. So it is nothing but 2 pi whole square, nothing but 4 pi square divided by 10. So it is nothing but one decimal goes up, 0.08 pi square. The options are in terms of pi. That's why you leave it 0.08 pi square. This is a coefficient of friction. If you are interested, no problem. You can substitute the value of pi, 3.14 whole square. Otherwise 22 by 7 whole square. Shall I give one more hint for you? Approximately you can take this pi square value as 10 in the competitive examination. So 0.08 into 10, nearly the option is 0.8. Okay, that is nothing but the coefficient of friction. Once again, a coin is placed on a horizontally rotating disc at a certain distance. What should be the coefficient of friction so that the coin does not fly off? Beautiful condition, very good condition. That means it is between circular motion and friction. When it is rotating, what is the angular velocity? The angular velocity is given as 2 pi n, 2 pi n. So substitute this value, mu is equal to r omega square by z. What is r? The distance from which it is placed, that is taken as r, 20 centimeter, nothing but 0.2 into omega 2 pi n. N means the number of rotations per second, but in the data number of revolutions per minute is given. So small conversion, number of seconds only, it is 1 revolution per second. If we substitute in n value, 0.2 into 2 pi n whole square divided by 10, nothing but 0.2 into n is 1, 2 pi whole square, 4 pi square, 0.08 pi square. What I said, this pi square is nearly equal to 10, that's why its value is approximately equal to 0.8. Since quotient of friction is a ratio, it has neither units nor dimensions, mind it. Here one more for you. A motorcyclist is performing feats in circus describing vertical circular motion in a hollow globe. Just imagine, it is everyone's experience, and we get this in circus generally. Here is a globe, it's a globe-like structure, and we can see the inside of the globe also. A man on bike performing feats. This is the position of the man. He is performing feats. Gradually his velocity increases, and when he is at the uppermost position, this is a situation. At the uppermost, this man will be like here. Here see, uppermost position. So he has to maintain a certain speed, otherwise he will fall down. That means while moving, what happened? This man presses this globe and able to move with the help of friction between the tires and this one also. Fine. When he is exactly here, what are the conditions for balancing? Condition for balancing means, so what minimum speed? If it is very huge, okay, he will maintain and goes on rotating. Here the question is, what will be the minimum speed when he is at the uppermost position? At this stage, normal reaction tends to 0. No need of considering this. So what are the outward forces? He pushed this away with mv square by r, where r is the radius of this globe. Okay, then what he has to balance is his weight acts vertically downward. If he is able to maintain his weight, then these two will be balanced so that he can complete the feat in the vertical circular path. That's why, see, I am comparing these two. mv square by r is equal to mg. The question is, what is the speed he has to maintain? That means we have to calculate this v square value. This is the basic concept. At the upward position, what are the different forces act? Downward mg, upward mv square by r. Of course, there will be normal reaction also. For a minimum case, that normal reaction, this tends to 0, this normal reaction. Otherwise, we have to consider normal reaction also. M gets cancelled, very simple. V is equal to gr under root. That's it, this concept. Z, as usual, this is 10 for calculation purpose. What is the radius of the globe? In the problem, it is given as 25. So simply I am writing 200 and this is 25 under root, which comes 250 under root. So be careful, we are calculating V minimum only, this minimum value. 250 means it is nearest to whom this, we have to think like that. 250 is nearest to 16, this 16 256. So you have to go for the nearest value, 16 meter per second. That means he has to maintain a minimum of 16 meter per second so that he can complete. Otherwise, what happens? If this velocity is less than this, the downward force decreases. This man at somewhere he comes back to original position. That means he is unable to complete the vertical path. That's why he has to maintain this path. What the speed he has to maintain? 16 meter per second. What is the condition? Downward and upward forces we have to make them equal. Fine. Let us consider this case. So, most oftenly appearing in our materials, a heavy uniform chain lies on horizontal tabletop. If the coefficient of friction between the chain and the table is 0.25, then the maximum fraction of length of the chain that can hang over one edge of the table is. I will try to visualize the problem. See, this is the table, this is the table. On this table, a uniform chain is kept, or it's a uniform chain. The question is, what is the maximum part of the chain that can be hanged from this edge so that it does not fall down? When it falls down, it is skid over. When it tries to pull down, what happened? The frictional forces comes into exist. So, it's a pulling of the chain downwards is opposed by the frictional force between the table and the chain. So, we can establish a condition making use of this theory. See, what is the data given? What is the total length of the chain? Total length is capital L. Let us suppose that this is x, this hanging part is x. Then what is the remaining part? Total length minus x, that's it. What is that? Total length is capital L. What is the hanging part? X. So, what is the part that remains on the horizontal table? L minus x. So, we have to establish the two conditions. That means which pulls down, it is nothing but the weight of this hanging part, and which opposes this, it is nothing but the frictional force. That means frictional forces is equal to the weight of a hanging part, weight. Since L is the total length, if capital M is the total mass of this one, I am introducing one word, mass per unit length. What is the mass per unit length? Mass per unit length means it is nothing but M by L, this M by capital L. This is called mass per unit length, mass per unit length. On the table, so what part is here? Capital L minus x is there. What is the frictional force? Mu mg. Mu, I am writing mu. What will be the mass? Capital L minus x into, what is the unit of this one? M by L into g. Once again, mu m, this whole goes to mass of the chain that is on the horizontal table. L minus x, this is the length, into mass per unit length into g. This is equal to x into, what is the mass of this one? M by L into g. That's all. This is called weight. This part into its weight, mg. Are you convenient? Now see how can we cancel the similar terms, and finally what we have is mu into capital L minus x on the left hand side and the x on the right hand side. Fine, it is nothing but mu L minus mu x is equal to x. Taking x terms to one side, we have mu x plus x is equal to mu L. Taking x as common, we have mu plus 1 is equal to mu into L. Last step, therefore, x is equal to mu L by mu plus 1. That's all this. What is the part that can be hanged without skipping is this one. From here onwards, the situation may be different. This may be asked as what part here, what was asked. If we substitute the value of a coefficient of friction, how much? It is 0.25. See, if I substitute how much x is equal to, see, mu 25 into length L divided by mu plus 0.25 plus 1, nothing but 0.25 divided by 1.25 into L. This is simply 5 times gets cancelled. That means what part of the the rope can be hanged, it is nothing but L by 5. So, one fifth of the rope can be suspended. Coming to fractions can be expressed in terms of fractions, simply into 100 you have to write, into 100, then this gives 20%, 20%, L by 5 it is expressing in terms of a fraction, otherwise you can say 20% of the total length of the chain that can be allowed to hang without skidding. Fine. Here this term you have to introduce, you have to mind M by L, mass per unit length. If you know mass per unit length, we can get what is the mass of the chain on the horizontal table and what is the mass of this one. What is the mass of this one? It's a length L minus x, okay na, L minus x, into what is the mass per unit length? M by L into G, mu m G is equal to, what is the weight of this one? Its mass into G. What will be its mass? Its length is x, M by L is the mass per unit length, and the G. After cancellation, we can establish this condition. From this we can calculate the fraction or the percentage of the chain that can be hanged without skidding. Here is one more different article which associates with rotatory motion as well as friction. So, motion of a cyclist in a death well. In a death well, you can observe this circus and in exhibition item as entertainment. Here is a well. Why this is called death well? A scooterist is performing feats inside this along the sides of this wall. That means he starts moving from one end and he is taking spirally like this, like this, like this. Gradually he is increasing his speed and finally he gets up this, and he gets up here and reaches this bank. This is the position. This is called death well. Starting from here, starting from this point, gradually he strives to climbs up this one, and he maintains a certain speed technically and comes out. As far our feet is concerned, what about different forces acts on him? For example, when the man is here, when the man is at this stage, see this, here is the man. What are the different forces acts? Time and again I am telling you, when you don't know, let us start with what is nothing but his weight. Then friction, you are clear. He is pressing the walls with a certain force, which is called centripetal force. Pressing the wall. That's why the force due to the motorcyclist on the walls is mv square by r. This is, if you consider action also as a reaction, this is NB the reaction. This is the total diagram. Total diagram. This is called free body diagram. What are the different forces acting on it? That means he is pushing, and this normal reaction. Falling down prevents from friction. Fine. Now see, what is the balancing condition? Condition for balancing. Condition for balancing. Balancing. Here, the normal reaction provides a necessary centripetal force N and mv square. Whenever you need, you can use this one. Whereas upward and downward forces are balanced by the frictional force and the normal reaction. Now see, what are the upward force? F. This is equal to downward force mg. From the basic knowledge, how this friction can be replaced from the definition of coefficient of friction. Mu is equal to F by N. Implies F is equal to how much? Mu N. This is mu N is equal to M. Are you comfortable with this? What is normal reaction? Reaction can be replaced with n omega square. N is equal to m v square by what this is r, where r is the radius of this value. V is the velocity of the motorcyclist and m is his mass. If we substitute in the formula mu in the place of n, mu m v square by r is equal to mg. Cancelling similar terms, and v square is equal to gr by mu last step. Therefore, v is equal to square root of gr by mu. Using this, we can find out, we can solve the problem. That unknown data is what is the radius of this well, what is the coefficient of friction. Then we can calculate with what velocity he has to maintain his motion so that he can reach without falling down. That's the condition. Once again, a motorcyclist of mass m is moving along the walls of a death well, and finally he comes up to the stage. So, at a particular instant of time, let this be the position of the man, this is the position of the man. What are the different forces acting on him? I am going to calculate. mg acts vertically downward, frictional forces act upward, which opposes from falling down. This man pushes the wall with a force of mv square by r. As a return, a normal reaction n acts on the body. Here balancing condition is frictional force is equal to mg, upward force is equal to downward force. This frictional force can be replaced from the definition of friction, coefficient of friction, F by n. In the place of F, I will write mu n, and n value, this is inward and outward, m square by r. I am substituting, and finally we get the safe maximum speed, that is V minimum is equal to square root of gr by mu. I will consider one numerical example for the previous discussion, that means death wells. Here a 70 kg man stands in contact against the inner walls of a hollow cylindrical drum of radius 5 meter, rotating about its vertical axis. See, this is a situation. This is a drum. This is a drum. See, vertical axis means this is axis of rotation. This is axis of rotation. That means around this it is rotating. This drum is rotating. A man is against the walls means this is a condition. See, this is the condition of the man. He is like this. Okay. When he is maintaining certain speed, the man does not fall down. That means, see, like this. If I am against the wall, say, if this is rotating with certain speed, I am pushed against the wall. I am pushed against the wall, as I explained in the previous case. See, what are the with what force I pushed against the wall, which is equal to mr omega square, and this is a normal reaction n. This frictional forces keeps the man from falling down. This is frictional force, and this is mg. Okay, now this is a condition. See, frictional force F is equal to how much? It is given as mg. This is nothing but mu n is equal to mg, and mu, what is n? It is nothing but mr omega square is equal to mg. Okay, now this m and m will be gets cancelled. Now from this we have to calculate what is the value of omega square. Omega square is equal to g by mu r. Simply speaking, omega is equal to square root of g by mu r. Now I am entering the problem. What is the given data? What is the coefficient of friction in the problem? It is given as 0.2. So that's why mu is equal to 0.2. And what is the radius of this disc which is rotating? This is called radius. It is given as 5 meter, and radius is equal to 5 meter. And take the value of g as 10 for your convenience, 10 meter per second square. If you substitute all these, omega is equal to square root of 10 by, what is the coefficient of friction? 0.2 into, what is radius? This is 5, nothing but root to 10, that's all. Because 0.2 into 5 means 1, it is nothing but root to 10. Since it is omega, the unit for this one is radian per second. Be alert, if it is ordinary velocity, we have to write meter per second. It is nothing but radian per second. That is the difference between linear velocity and angular velocity. If the same problem appears in different way, what would be the velocity of the drum? Then instead of writing mr omega square, simply we have to go for mv square by r. Remaining all are same, that means mu mv square by r is equal to mg, m gets cancelled, v square is equal to gr by mu, whereas v is equal to square root of gr by mu. That's all. This is the final value. So from problem to problem, from case to case, BLS, only the difference is centripetal force is expressed in terms of angular speed, it is expressed in terms of linear speed, v and omega. If it is omega, mr omega square, if it is velocity, mv square by r, that's it. So like this we can correlate kinetic motion with the friction, that is one case, and rotatory motion with the friction. In the same way, we can add so many numericals since we have time constraint, and we will select some more different mode of problems in the coming days.